4 years ago, the nation was stunned by the devastating bus crash involving the Humboldt Broncos. Of the 29 passengers, 16 people lost their lives, including Logan Boulet. Since his passing, Logan's parents, Bernie and Toby, have been tireless advocates for organ donation. We spoke to them via Zoom in advance of this year's Green Shirt Day.
So we're sitting in that room. We'd originally got kind of told Logan's prognosis when we were in Nipawin, which is about 2 hours away from Saskatoon. And I guess we didn't really understand what they were saying to us or what was happening. And we heard about possible paralysis. And I remember thinking, that we can work through that. We can deal with that. Logan is healthy, he's strong. He could be a Paralympian. There's lots of Paralympians. He can do that. And then we got to Saskatoon and they took us into a room, and that's where we got the real prognosis and where they really explained to us where we were at, that Logan had a brain injury that he was not going to be able to recover from. And all I can remember thinking was like, he's young, he's healthy, he's strong, he's fit, that someone somewhere could benefit from his organs. Their life could be better. Their life could go on. And so I just kind of like thinking, can Logan help somebody? And could he be an organ donor? And they kind of all just stopped in that room and looked at us. There was the doctor who was in charge of the Code Orange. There was some neurosurgeons in there. There was a resident. There was the nurse who'd been assigned to Logan. And there was a social worker, and they just kind of looked at us like people don't do that. People don't just offer. I mean, now I think that there is that has happened more often, but it doesn't happen. And we've talked about it, and we think that they probably wouldn't have asked us because of the whole scope of what was all happening. That we don't think that they would have asked us, and that's understandable because it's not an easy situation for medical staff to be in, to be asking a family if they would consider organ donation. And I think that us offering was both a shock to them and almost a relief to them because they didn't ever have to go there.
Logan's decision to donate his organs was motivated after the death of his off-ice trainer, who donated his organs after he passed away suddenly in 2017. Toby Boule vividly remembers his son bringing the topic up.
It's clear as day, just on this deck right here beside me out here. So Rick's funeral went and had his funeral, and Logan was, in hindsight, we should have made it all happen, but we couldn't because Rick's funeral was in Edmonton. We live in Lethbridge, just 5 hours away. And Logan had a summer job, and you have to make money to go back to play junior hockey, because not everything's paid for, right? You got to have money, right? So he just couldn't go to the funeral. And it was a celebration of life, so that happened. So then in the build-up after that, and then getting ready for the season, we're just sitting on the deck out here, and Logan just literally turned to me and said, I'm going to be an organ donor when I'm going to sign up, register to be an organ donor on my 21st birthday, because I'm going to be a donor like Rick is. And I said, what? He said, well, if I pass away, I want to be an organ donor. Rick saved 6 lives, so can I. And I just looked right at him and I said, well, you'll be 85 years old. Nobody wants your organs. So it was a very small laugh. He said, nope, that's what I'm going to do. And so as a father, I look back and I've been told it's not the case, but I wasn't a very good father. I didn't make it very good. I didn't help him out very much. I just kind of brushed it off because he's talking about his death, because that's what he was talking about. And I didn't want to talk about it. So that was that. And then that's literally the last that it was ever spoken about at our family level.
How many lives did Logan's organs save?
Well, we use the term he made 6 lives fuller because he donated 5 organs and his corneas, which is a tissue. But we've talked to many people who've received cornea transplants that they can see and then they couldn't really see. So that's in that point that they tell us point blank, it saved our lives. So we don't use the term saved lives, we say 6 lives fuller. So Logan donated his heart, both lungs, his 2 kidneys, his liver, and both sets of corneas is what he's able to donate. His pancreas, he was going to be able to donate his pancreas, and then the nurse came back, this transplant nurse came back and said, we can't find a match, but that was already too late to tell whatever, you can't change it. So then they tried again, and about 10:30 at night, and he was leaving at 2 a.m. was his transplant surgery was scheduled. His
Organ recovery.
organ recovery is scheduled at 2 a.m. So we said it's 10:39. We can't. So we said that's fine. So this pancreas was never actually donated.
And so after that, something that's become known as the Logan Boulet effect happened. Can you tell us about the Logan Boulet effect?
It's a bit ironic in some ways, because Logan was not the kind of person that would stand in front and want the attention. He wasn't the kind of person who's like, yeah, I'm up here, look at me. He had the opportunity, but he always made sure it was team first. It was what we all do together. What do we do that makes us better? So the Logan Boulet effect, when we first saw it and it was trending on social media, and we were kind of shocked by that. I think that it just became something that people, both within the organ transplant, organ donation organizations in the organ transplant world, that they were inspired by Logan, that Logan gave them hope. And other people were inspired by that to do something, that to register to become an organ donor, to have a conversation with their families about being an organ donor. So that Logan effect, or the Logan Boulet effect, that it was just the fact that it was inspiring people and it was making a difference and it was giving hope that wasn't there before. So that's kind of how it just kind of evolved.
It's Green Shirt Day is the Logan Boulet effect and the Humboldt tragedy. It's not about Logan. It's about those things, because that's what created the Logan Boulet effect. We understand that. And it's about the 29 people on the bus and their families, the community of Humboldt, people all over that were affected, cousins, brothers, sisters, aunts, uncles, friends, billets, everybody that was affected. So that all came together as part of this tragedy. The Logan Boule effect is one of the bright lights, if there's such a thing, and there's a few bright lights that have come out of it. And so we understand that. So we always put those two first, and Logan's part of that.
What is your hope with Green Shirt Day coming up and moving forward? What do you hope with Green Shirt Day?
Well, we hope one day we won't need to have Green Shirt Day, that we will have enough organs for all the people who need them. But we know that that isn't going to happen anytime soon. So what we really hope is, we hope that people are inspired, that they do register, that they have a conversation. We know that every time someone has a conversation about organ donation, that it makes other people think about organ donation registration. We know that it makes people just make that decision about wanting to be an organ donor, so that we just want the inspiration. We want people to have conversations, and we want people to register and remember the Humboldt Broncos.
And that's what my biggest focus is. Remember the Humboldt Broncos, remember the families, remember the Logan Boule effect. Don't let it go into a memory bank that it disappears. Let it be there. And it's not about Logan. We're not about Logan. We talked about Logan, but there's so many tentacles in this situation. We're just here to help as much as we can. So that's what we want from Future. We're here to help, and just help anybody who wants help. We go anywhere that anybody wants us to go to. We're speaking in London, Ontario this year in May. We just go, and we're speaking with you today in Niagara, right?
We want to make, not necessarily make the difference, but to give hope to people. And we know that with organ donation registration, it just gives hope. And it will make a difference, because that positive outlook, and then to know that there's a possibility that an organ is there, that you will get that, will make a difference.
Thanks, Toby and Bernie, for joining us all the way from Lethbridge and sharing this inspiring story with our viewers. For more information on the Logan Boulet effect, go to greenshirtday.ca. Reporting for The Source, I'm Jennifer Wittick.